I'm thrilled to be sitting here with Collin West, who is a very integral part of the team here at eWater.com. And thank you, Collin, so much for taking time out of your busy schedule, helping make everything work around here just to talk to us for a couple minutes.
Well, thank you for talking to me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. First, I just wanted to ask, how long have you been with the company?
10 years.
Wow. So you definitely have seen a lot of changes and people that are feeling better and enjoying their lives a little bit better as a result of what you guys provide, I would say, over those years.
Yeah, I've had a great opportunity to work with a whole bunch of different people, so trying to pick up as much knowledge as possible as as time goes by.
Right. So what exactly is your role in what you do here at the company?
Whatever Fred tells me to. But really, it's more on the other side of water purification and customer service. I try and basically bring all that information forward so that people have access to it, at any point in time. We also do 24-hour technical support here. So any system that goes out, anything I have to know it top to bottom, so anybody who's coming forward with a question, I can answer it adequately.
Well, I mean, it's amazing because I know that Fred was telling me how much he appreciates how you take care of the customers and the clients and the knowledge that you have as far as all the water systems and, how they are, working properly and effectively for each family. I mean, he really appreciates, and I think that's something that's always really important to people to know is that the people on their team, they know they can just let them do what they need to do and they don't have to worry. And let me ask you, just from the people that you've worked with, the clients that you've worked with the water systems, what is their what are maybe a story of one person, how do they feel after you get the whole thing installed? Do they call you and tell you the difference that they're experiencing now that they have the system?
Usually when they do get a system, it's where we bring it down to exactly what they need. And individually, every city has different, water.
Right.
So telling them that the system works for everybody across the United States or even over, around the world, it's just not true. Mm-hmm. So, they like to feel that, we've taken a look at their house, the size of the house, the number of bathrooms, and the chemicals that their city has water in it. So when they actually get to see firsthand what we're doing for them, it's pretty self-explanatory at that point. They are overwhelmed. They're very happy. And you can actually feel a difference in the water, which that's the end of it. As soon as it's installed and it's running, people can see, smell, and feel a difference. And you can't ask for any better proof than that.
And that's, I would say, almost immediate, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's phenomenal because I know that before I was aware of like a whole house system like this, I mean, I had no concept of like, why would I need that? I mean, do you ever have people say to you, well, why would I need a whole house system?
Oh, yeah. I mean, just beyond the fact of bathing and showering, people are, in my opinion, very concerned about looks. I mean, it's everywhere we look.
Right.
So, if we can do something that's going to help somebody with their complexion as well as hair, that's one huge thing. And simply reminding people that the skin is the largest organ in the body really gets them to think, I can't believe how much actually goes on just with the pores of my skin. So when they have that, they figure out, I'm sucking in so many toxins just in a shower, let alone washing my face, using every sink in the house, dishwasher, washing machine, the ability to remove detergents from clothing. So actually you get out of the shower, put on clean clothes that are actually detergent free rather than sticking in the fibers. And then you spend all day sweating and moving around in these clothes instead of absorbing all that kind of stuff. You're actually doing a better product and makes your clothes last longer, which is definitely a very big bonus.
You've just hit a whole bunch of things that like I have never even really thought of because the first thing I wanted to address is the idea that, your skin. And obviously everybody wants their hair to look great and whatever, but just your skin, you're saying being the largest organ. Maybe you could just describe when people don't have a whole home filter on their house, what is happening to their skin if they're just taking a shower and bathing in regular tap water?
Well, I mean, I think everybody realizes that when you're hot, your pores are open.
They don't.
Okay.
I don't think they do. I mean, I don't know, maybe they do, but I think there's a lot of people that don't even realize this.
Yeah. I mean, when you're in a shower and you're in all that steam and heat, You're actually opening up your pores, and it's actually a cleansing process for the body, especially eliminating oils and dirt, and even getting rid of the soap properly is a huge difference. So once you compact those pores, you actually stop the body's process of eliminating toxins. You can also weaken the skin, which means that you're actually going to allow more bacteria and viruses in, because your skin is your first line of defense. Right. So damaging the skin is actually very bad all over the body.
And so are you stopping that process when you have like a whole home filter or a shower filter that is taking those chemicals out of the water for when you're bathing in it?
Yeah, I mean, we can just list just a few. I mean, chlorine, chloramines, chloride, chlorite, all these other contaminants that are in the water, SOCs, VOCs, heavy metals, all these are actually going to stop the skin from processing just the way that it should. And if then just getting past the aesthetic value of your skin, right, then you get to the health issue. And the health issue is where people usually don't see all the impact
that's happening. And I guess people don't think that, because if you're taking a hot shower and your pores are open, and then, and to my understanding, people say, well, why are all those chemicals in the water? Maybe you can address that. My basic understanding that I have is because the water, based on what's running into it, they have to kill certain things so it doesn't hurt us, but then it's the chemicals that they put in to kill other things that are then killing us at the same time. I mean, can you address that? Because I'm not sure.
Well, it's pretty easy.
What are all those chemicals doing in the water?
They're there because if a city had let's say a cryptosporidium outbreak, which is a bacteria, and everybody got sick, then everybody, there's going to be massive lawsuits.
Okay.
The long, prolonged process of killing ourselves by poisoning us slowly is better than actually having a breakout, which would be horrible press. And that's what it comes down to, is press.
Okay. They're protecting themselves from...
Right.
They're putting abundance of chemicals in the water to kill anything that might be there.
It's also there to extend the life of the pipes. They don't want to actually be digging up the pipes in the city every, 10 years. Wow. So you put other alkalizing agents in there, so natural water, which is clean and pure, becomes less of a solvent, which means it extends the life of your pipes. So it has nothing to do with health. It's there to actually make a more cost-effective nature for the city.
Like, I've never even considered that concept. I mean, and it makes sense, because with the water going through the pipes, you would understand from their perspective why they would do it. Doesn't make it better or healthier for us. So that's incredible. I mean, so thank you for that aspect of it, because that's a whole bunch of new information I had never heard of. The other aspect, you were talking about the clothes, and that's a whole new concept to me, that you can bathe in clean water, but then if you're putting clothes on that have been laundered, like if you have a shower filter, but you don't have it on the whole house, right? You're taking a shower in clean water, but you're putting clothes on that have been washed in tap water.
Which is still laden with all the chemicals. Right. And also the chemicals, which bring water back away from its natural solvent state, leave more of the detergents that you put in there to wash with. So now you have the normal chemicals from the tap water, plus your Tide or your other detergents that are in there. And I mean, just the strength of the fibers in your clothes, a heavy chlorine content in the water is going to weaken your clothing. So,
right, which is why they don't last as long.
Right.
And I can only but imagine, thinking about the chlorine in the water, what that does to the vibrancy of the colors of your clothing, right? Wow. I mean, like, it's just so many things that people, like, we don't even realize, how much that's, affecting us financially, even having to replace things faster and whatnot, aside from the obvious health aspects. So, I mean, it's amazing, Collin, because you are like a wealth of knowledge. I mean, all people, I think of is, wow, I just want to make sure I'm bathing in clean water. But when you really understand what's underneath that and why, from a chemical and a medical perspective, I mean, you just can't imagine why anybody wouldn't want to make sure that they treat their water. Because pretty much, is there anywhere in our country or around the world where the water is now not affected with an abundance of chemicals?
I couldn't think of anything. Even in the most remote areas, you still have the influence of man. So, I mean, we did a pretty good job of messing everything up. Yes.
Right, messing it all
And now we're either busy covering up what we messed up,
right,
or we take it another way, and we go back in there and we admit to what we did and say, look, in order for us to prevent bacteria and viruses from being in our water, this is the cheapest, most effective way.
right.
I don't think anybody would want to agree to tripling or quadrupling their water bill every month for clean water. But if we say we take it upon ourselves to put a filter at our house and say, look, I understand the harmful aspects of chlorine and other chemicals, then that's us. It's us being smart enough to realize that, just because it's there and available doesn't mean it's good for us.
That's wonderful. Well, maybe because you've been with the company for 10 years, so maybe you could just share with me just your feelings about being a part of distributing a product and services that, really, are having, not only an aesthetic value for people, but they're really probably in some cases contributing to saving people from, like harm for their health. I mean, how does that feel at the end of the day when you walk out of here and know you've played a part in that?
I get a whole bunch of ahas during the day when I try and explain that, you don't need certain stuff in the water. They say, oh, I need tons of minerals in the water, but if you can't digest a rock, that mineral does no good in your water. Anyway, then we get all sorts of other personal aspects, that people say I feel bad this way all the time. And I say, why don't we just change a little something in your regular daily schedule? And then from there, we include whatever we want. Usually it's water, because water is going to do the best. If we can improve organ function, then you can obviously improve nutrition, absorption capacity, which means whatever you're eating or whatever supplements you're taking are now going to hopefully do better for you. So, trying to keep it simple makes it a lot easier for people. And really, when they come back a week later and they say, I feel much better, or what more information do you have for me? I think that's the best.
Now, are you speaking about the different products, like a bulldozer pack, and on that level too? I mean, do you address that with customers, or are you mostly focused on the other products?
It's hard to get away from any of the products because they all work together so well. You can't really have success in one area all by itself. Like the bulldozer pack, it has the EP2 stress reducing pendant, but it also has the whole food supplements. So the process of actually bringing commensal cells back into a working fashion,
right,
is part of energy, but also part of nutrition. So having one all alone will only get you so far, but we can put in together hydration, whole food supplements, and energy basis. The body's going to work together a whole lot better.
That's great. Do you have your own personal experience with any of the products? A story you'd like to share?
When I first came down here, Fred showed me the Vitalizer Plus, and I walked right in and I said, you're crazy. Water's water. And I wouldn't believe him. So I actually did the Vitalizer Plus on a 27-minute cycle. All right. I drank the whole pitcher. I went home and I slept for 11 hours. And when I woke up, I had rashes on my armpits, I had rashes in my elbows and behind my knees, and I was just pouring out toxins. And I actually had to come back the next day and say, all right, you might have something here, Fred. But that was it. That's one of my favorite products right now is the Vitalizer. I love to see, the immediate work that it does, the Quanta Water and the other products, they're all working on the hydration. But the first experience that I had with a massive change was the Vitalizer. And and I had to actually come back in and say, all right, now I'll listen to some more of the stuff that you have to say, Fred, because I came in, I was a huge skeptic. So other than that, I'm surprised almost every day by our products.
Well, maybe you can explain what the Vitalizer Plus, because, I hear that story and I'm like, no, of course people don't want to have a rash, but explain what is it, what does what does it do for people to help them detox with all the toxins that are in their body?
Simply, proper hydration, hexagonally structured water gets deeper to the cellular membranes of the body. So really good hydration is going to kick the organs into a higher potential for function. So once you do that, then your body starts to improve, and your body's going to say, all the stuff that was stuck in here that I couldn't get rid of before, now I have a chance for that. So, I'm a big fan of detoxing because you can feel an improvement. Some people say, oh, I'm not sure because I feel dizzy. I know that I'm getting rid of something that doesn't belong in there
Right.
when I start to feel an immediate change. Any of the other products that we have, playing golf and having perfect balance, when I feel like I know I'm going to shank the next shot because I can't focus, perfect balance underneath the skin, which comes back, underneath the tongue, which comes back to hydration, is really key for balancing the body.
And gives you a better golf game.
It gives me better focus, which you can't have golf without focus.
Right, exactly. Well, and then I just wanted to ask you of the customers and the clients that you are now taking such good care of. Initially, usually they have either met Fred at an event or they've seen him on the web or whatever the case may be. What do you find people appreciate most about just the vision that Fred has, for the company and the products and the services that, you all provide to the customers? What do you hear from?
The first thing that I hear and I deal with usually the people who just got done talking to Fred. And if anybody has talked to Fred before, they know that he doesn't like to repeat himself over and over and over again. So he is very, very thorough. And that's the key thing. I don't think anybody likes to be told something that they don't view to be, pertinent to their health or true, and he's very honest, straightforward. He says, we can't get anywhere until we fix this, and I like some of the analogies he's given me before that I will reiterate to everybody else. I mean, Band-Aid on a bullet wound, stuff like you can't keep fixing the shingles on the roof until you fix the foundation. These kind of things that make people say, oh, well, I take all these supplements. And I say, well, it doesn't matter if you take all the supplements if your body can't utilize them. So let's fix the problem that your body is not absorbing these, these natural organic fruits and vegetables you're spending all the money putting in. Let's fix the problem, and then we'll let the, natural raw supplements do their job.
Awesome. Well, I know that he certainly appreciates the dedication that you have to the company, and all the customers and clients, really appreciate the things that you've done to make sure that on a higher level that everything is working to give them better health and wellness and be happier and enjoy their lives more and have better golf games. All right, Collin, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. I know you have to get back to work and different customers that are on the phone. So thanks again.
Thank you.